Hi, I'm Bryan Boyce with Energy Solutions, and today I'd like to talk about the connection between incentive programs and codes and standards. In order to meet aggressive greenhouse gas reduction goals, all electric technologies such as heat pumps must be quickly moved across the adoption curve. Exciting new CPUC tools such as the Electronic Technical Reference Manual, or ETRM, and metrics such as Total Systems Benefit, or TSB, provide a new opportunity, in my opinion, to revisit this connection between incentive programs and codes and standards. The link between incentive programs and building codes and appliance standards has certainly been understood for decades. The adoption curve is premised on the idea that a measure is going to move from ET over to incentives and eventually codes and standards. But while this link is understood, in practice, the different groups are understandably focused on their own silos, and there has been a little bit less collaboration than there could be, I think. So I think there's an opportunity to speed up this adoption curve if we're thinking about the codes and standards fate of a measure upfront during the incentive measure development process. The California Technical Forum, or CalTF, is closely involved in the measure development process and has also developed the ETRM, which is being adopted by CPUC as the database of record for all incentive measures in the state of California, coming in January 2022. Measure packages, which were previously known as work papers, are the engineering calculations and narrative that describe how savings are claimed by program administrators. Shown here is an example. This is an entry for a fuel substitution measure, which is a unitary heat pump replacing an air conditioning RTU with a gas furnace. The ETRM is a modern online relational database that transparently displays measure information and the underlying engineering calculations. Other recent CPUC policy updates, such as the fuel substitution test from 2019, has encouraged proliferation of gas to electric incentive measures, which will hopefully one day unlock future greenhouse gas saving code changes. In addition, the CPUC is moving its metric for tracking IOU accomplishments from KW, KWH, and therms over to TSB, which is Total Systems Benefit, taking effect in 2024. And this will better capture greenhouse gas savings from measures. The fate of incentive measures is usually not considered during development. Most of the measure development process is dedicated to following the strict CPUC rules and formatting guidelines and other data collection efforts that are necessary to set up the incentives themselves. And little attention is usually paid to after the incentive is sunsetted and eventually becomes a codes and standards measure. Similarly, when a new code change proposal is being considered, although the past incentives are a factor, there's usually little direct collaboration between the two communities, at least in my experience. Case authors could benefit by having a little bit more of a direct interaction with this new ETRM database, as well as the incentive program implementation teams. So there's definitely an opportunity to better prepare a measure for a fate in codes and standards. When developing the ETRM entry, the developer could put code readiness instructions, data collection efforts, or code compliance software credit information into the ETRM entry itself. In addition, data could be crafted in a way or published in the ETRM in a way that is actively considering how it needs to be formatted for a case report or a codes and standards measure. As an example for HVAC, if we have to gather chiller or unitary air conditioner, heat pump data from manufacturers, that's a very expensive and time-consuming process. And you'd get more bang for the buck if you're actually leveraging that data for building code, software compliance credits at the same time as you're putting it towards incentive measure development. In addition, the state agencies could also streamline their underlying tools, such as building prototypes. CalBEM has been establishing over the last year a prototypes technical advisory group, or the TAG, which is actively bringing together the different agencies to harmonize the assumptions for the prototypes used in both incentive and code analyses. So overall, I think everyone could benefit from some more collaboration and leveraging these new tools. Building codes could benefit by having more data streams and market insights from the ETRM entries. Incentive program administrators could have more of a wide array of measures to leverage if codes and standards communities are adding additional ETRM entries. And the planet can benefit by having much more rapidly adopted heat pumps and other all-electric designs for widespread adoption in codes and standards, which is where we know the most adoption takes place. So the most successful incentive programs are ones that quickly move a product along the adoption curve in a reasonable time frame. So let's use the ETRM and get out of our silos to make that happen.